So I wake up to see that Kemba Walker is going to the New York Knicks, and I'm like, oh my God, what did the Knicks give up? How could they do this, trading for a guy on a massive contract who is super old? And then I see that Kemba has agreed to a buyout, so that changed my feelings on the signing immediately. The details of Kemba's contract with the Knicks have not been released by Woj, as he still needs to clear waivers first. Then he plans to sign with the Knicks. How much money Kemba left on the table with the Thunder has not been released yet either. But I can still talk about Kemba on the Knicks. So my first question is, why would he sign with the Knicks? I mean, it seems like the Lakers and Clippers would definitely take him, but then it was mentioned that it's a dream homecoming and he's from New York, so that obviously makes sense. I think he would be the starting point guard with the Knicks. I still think, just off talent, he's probably their best point guard. So make the starting lineup Kemba, Barrett, Fournier, Randall, and Robinson probably, or Nerlens Noel. And I think on the Knicks, he's probably going to have to be a bit more of a playmaker because in that lineup, I think there's more scoring and scorers than playmakers. And also with his recent injuries, especially the knee injuries, I think he's lost a little bit of that explosiveness, and that's really tough for a guy who is under 6 feet. So I think he's going to have to rely on his playmaking more. Some possessions, I think it's just going to be bringing it up the court and throwing it into the post to Randall and then spotting up for three. And, obviously probably not his best use, but if he has to do that, he has to do that. And I think, at this point, that might be, that's going to be some of the possessions. If I think of some on-ball creation, I mean, when Kemba's going, you give him a high screen and you let him go to work. And, he's super fun to watch. He's super quick. But, is he going to be able to get to that point? I think with the Knicks, there'll be a lot less pressure on him to score. Between Derrick Rose and Julius Randle and RJ Barrett and Evan Fournier now, and them also having a very good defense, which can sustain them and, keep them in games. I think it's not going to be as much of the pressure to score, because on the Celtics last year, if, he was really like, if he had a good game, the Celtics usually won, and if he had a bad game, the Celtics usually lost. So, I think that's a better situation. So, obviously he's been declining for a little bit, but I think, it's going to be tough. I think just off the shooting and playmaking alone, he provides good value offensively for the Knicks. I think they needed more shooting last year. They've got Fournier, they've got Kemba, they've got Barrett now. They still have Barrett. If Randall, his jump shot, stays consistent, and he was great shooting last year, but hasn't been the years before, so we'll have to see if he can keep it up, but I do believe he can. Then we're looking at a pretty decent shooting team with Kemba now. If I think defensively, I mean, Kemba's not a good defender because he's really short, so they could encounter some problems there. Obviously just teams picking on Kemba, putting him in pick and roll, posting him up if he gets switched on to a bigger guy, or even just guard post-ups on him. So, maybe that could be a problem, but we've seen defenders like Trae Young survive. So I think the Knicks, they've obviously gotten a little bit worse this offseason defensively with Kemba and Fournier. But I think they have enough bigger guys between Barrett and Randall, and then having a good rim protector like Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel, having a good system and people who are willing to put in the work defensively, that I think they can probably survive and still have a top 10 defense, but just maybe not like the fourth best defense in the league like they had last year, or it might have even been second. I don't really remember, but yeah, I think defensively obviously taking a drop, but I think their offense next year is going to be a lot better. I think they needed that. I don't think they could survive and, be the 4 seed again with the same offense they had last year. And I think it showed also in the playoffs that they're lacking shot creation, and Rose was really the only guy who was stepping up. So now I think between Kemba, Fournier, Rose, Burks, Randall, and maybe even more development from Barrett, I hope they still let Barrett do some on-ball stuff and he doesn't just become a 3-and-D guy. Not that that's bad, but I think he has more potential than that. So yeah, I think we'll have to see the contract. I don't believe it's too much because the Knicks just don't have that much cap space. So, for a low risk deal, I don't know how many years it'll be. It said it was a dream move for him, so maybe it's more years than one. But yeah, we'll just have to see. But right now, I like this move for the Knicks just because of how low risk it is, how you're getting him for nothing, and how I still believe he's a good player, and even if he is never that healthy again, I still believe he can provide some important playmaking and shooting to this team. For the Thunder, we'll have to see what team, how much money he left on the table for the buyout. It was obvious from this that either he's leaving a lot of money on the table, which is a possibility. He has a lot of money, or his value is just so low that they're never going to be able to move him, and they just want to get rid of him. My instinct is that he's leaving a solid amount of money on the table, and the Thunder okay, see you later. It's okay. It doesn't hurt the Thunder's cap because they're not really looking to sign big free agents right now. They're just chilling with their rookies and young guys and future draft picks. So, I guess it's an okay for the Thunder if he's leaving a lot of money on the table, because I can't really believe that no team would take a shot on him. I'm thinking Clippers. But the problem is the teams that do want to take a shot on them are usually the contending teams, and they usually don't have the cap space to trade for them, for guys like Kemba. So yeah, we'll see. It's not really about the Thunder, but solid move for the Knicks here. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.